What's going on? It's Trending Story. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more well informed, make sure to subscribe and activate the notifications bell so you don't miss anything.
Lenka and Martaroska were twin sisters like two drops of water. The girls resembled each other, even their mothers sometimes was their way. As is often the case with twins, the appearance was the same and completely different characters. Alina was so soft and tender. You won't hear a rude word from her. And the Martaroska was torn off in shoes, as the people say. Throughout her childhood, she ran around the neighborhood with the boys, played war, stole apples, and the plague constantly came home and educated. Perhaps that was the only way to distinguish them. Alina, neat and clean, looked shot and in the mud, and as soon as she was washed and changed, the two girls became children again. A different nature is a frequent phenomenon in twins, but despite this, they adore each other and cannot be far and long from each other. The twins seem to feel each other. In the case of Alina and Marina, they had one of those rare cases of confrontation with each other. It felt like the girls are in an eternal state of war with each other. They seemed to hate each other. Petrona fought with her sister in the open. She could have pushed something with a pack of it, put a footboard, or even ruined her favorite toy. Elena is a quiet church. She skillfully devised her own intrigues and arranged subtle revenge. She could take back the throne, take sweets from the buffet, wait until she breaks her neutrons. Not only one of her kissed their sister under the pillow, and in the evening got up with her giblets. No one knew exactly why the girls had such a feud. They seemed to be quarreling in their mother's womb. The girls did not even know that their mother was experiencing and suffering from such behavior of her daughters. Because of this, she did not even want to give birth to children anymore, fearing that twins would be born again and would fight among themselves again. With age, the sisters' situation did not improve at all. Alana, nasty, started father. I looked she could from a bunch and arranged when the girls became teenagers and began to pay attention to the boys. The situation has become a stalemate. Then one takes the boy to the other, and then the other gives the boy's sister. By the end of the school, the person already on the side of the sisters did not want to fall victim to the sisters' intrigue, and each of them saw her sister in the fact that they did not want to meet with them. When the girls received their certificates, their mother gave each of them at the graduation ceremony with a ticket to one to Moscow and the other to St. Petersburg. She looked them over to disperse to different cities and arrange their lives separately. The only way she could stop the rivalry of the sisters on that and decided. I just had to draw lots because of each of them certainly wanted to go to the city where she would submit a ticket to her sister Alina, who would receive a ticket to Moscow. I am not looking at Peter. Thinking for a second, all the envelopes changed immediately. Alina got to St. Petersburg, and the sailor took a train to Moscow. Finally, after the girls left the house, there was peace and quiet. Parents decided that they can breathe easy, but it was not there. The worst was just beginning. Both sisters entered institutes because, despite their strife at school, many studied very well and did not suspect that Elena and the sailors had a problem in the family. They fought all the hostilities only at home, and thus brought together mother and grandmother. In public, they both played the role of loving sisters. A sailor, she became a primary school teacher, and after college, returned to her native village as she had already learned that there were not enough teachers in her homeland. Yes, I came and looked, but not one brought Igor's fiancé with them. Igor was not a Muscovite. He was also a village guy, only from another region from near Smolensk. Marina Igor's parents immediately liked the open, calm guy, complimented the energetic and explosive character of their daughter. And Marina herself, whether under the influence of Igor or far from her sister, became somehow quieter and calmer. The young decided to play the wedding in the homeland of the bride. Igor had no relatives of the master, and she did not want to invite Alina to the wedding. She studied in medicine. She had to study for several more years, and it looks like she was not going to return home after college. Mom persuaded Marina to send an invitation to her sister. After all, they were both already grown women, and they hardly had any reason to compete with each other. Alina's parents and sailors thought so. Preparations for the wedding were in full swing. When Elena arrived, only she saw her sister's fiancé. I looked into his eyes, and as she realized that she would do everything for the person to become her love, and Alina walked around Igor almost openly calling out flirting when Marina was at work. In the end, the mother could not stand it and told her daughter to take care of and not spoil her sister's life. Because she only complains, but why only indulge? Maybe it's my fate, Alina objected. This is not your destiny. Find yourself. Yours ordered to break Alina's daughter to a psychologist and left the day before the wedding. Igor didn't really understand what had happened, but Marina did not really penetrate at once, understood everything, and sighed with relief. Igor, among other things, was also a hunter. She had already found friends in the new place. The wedding went just fine. Among other gifts, the friends of the hunters gave the young wolf cubs. She was such a nice little gray lump with scary eyes, on thick hats. In many villages, they do not teach to be silent, and in every possible way force those who have such a pet to get rid of it. Here the situation was somewhat different. In the village, they normally treated gray predators. Since time immemorial, many kept together the dogs of tame wolves of the hunter in the village. There were many, and from time to time some present their hunter and their children as a gift are silent. Wolves were considered as the local patron saint of the village. It was even a kind of local tradition to present wolf cubs to the wedding. Like a new family on the shore, the spinning top took root in a young family rather quickly, and it may have grown by that time Marina had a child. The mother of a young woman was very worried that she would also have twins, and they would be given all the characters of the sisters. But no boy was born whose name was Valera. Little Valerie, as soon as he grew up, learned to walk, began to spend all day long in the yard with the wolf, and in the literal sense of the word, they did not grow, and the water understood each other perfectly. The wolf behaved like a guard for a small Valerian and tried to protect him from everything, even from a simple fall. It so happened that it was during this happy period of life that the girl's mother suddenly died of a heart attack. Heart tormenting my whole life stopped suddenly. Elena came only to the funeral one afternoon and left in the evening, hardly spoke to her sister, and only a mirror on the sides from under black glasses. Misfortune never comes alone, and after the mother 6 months later, the father fell and left the funeral again. Morning again, Elena came again. This time she was less ambitious, behaved as quietly as in childhood, and even cried. After the commemoration, she sat for a long time looking in the room and beat her soul. It turns out she could have had a child too, and not even one, the same age as the son of a sailor. She then dreamed of a career and had an abortion. There were twins, not without complications and long treatment. Now she cannot have children. Elena cried to her sister that her life in St. Petersburg was not going well. She would like to return home, if her sister lets her live in her home, but was upset by her sister's revelation. She felt sorry for her difficult fate for the first time in their lives. They talked frankly. Alina settled at home in a room with her grandmother in their old room. Her sister arranged a nursery for Valeria. At first, Olya found without raising her head, helped around the house enough for any business. Grandmother could not rejoice that at last the sisters lived peacefully, and only the wolf did not yield to Alina from the first days. He never took it out of her hands, and even if she threw a piece into his aviary, he never picked it up. He did not allow her to leave the house into the courtyard when Alina appeared. He rolled down and screamed the unfortunate wolf had to be kept in the aviary until they figured out what to do in the current situation. She even offered to remove Leonidas, but she immediately rushed. What did she say? That when she would completely leave in childhood tears, also worked well only when the parents came to them. And now my sister was leading, and that's how I had to look at Igor to go to the regional center on business. When they returned, the terror feared their mesh. Valerie for the wolf was torn apart. The predator was not there. Neither Alina nor Valerie was anywhere. Grandmother was asleep and could not wake up. Resolute Marina left Igor to wait for an ambulance and watch his grandmother. She herself rushed to look for her son and sister. She had premonitions that she simply did not want to believe. Apparently in vain. Naturally, they were not in the house in the garden. Now I should know how long ago everything happened here. I don't want to call the police, but I still had to. The ambulance arrived pretty quickly. It turned out that the grandmother had been given sleeping pills. The doctors recommended that she be admitted to the hospital for examination. All the same, at this age, a very large load on the heart. The police soon arrived. While the protocol was being written down and questioned at the end of the village on the road, a strange silhouette appeared after looking through. I look. She saw a wolf who carried a child in his teeth, Valera's little sons. Shouted Marina and rushed to meet her son and his savior. As it turned out, Alina appeared sleeping pills not only for her grandmother, but also for her nephew, so that he would not cry on the way. Seeing a wolf was also found with sleeping pills. Elena did not take into account that he never took food from her. When she abducted the child, the wolf tore the net and rushed in pursuit. Elena wanted to take Valerie to her place, or wanted to do something with him, we never know, just as the wolf did something to her, or simply took the child away. Grandma recovered and Elena has never been seen again. Here's the story. Thanks for listening to the end. Do not forget to subscribe and like and click on the bell so as to not miss a new video. Good luck.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.